All right, give me 1 second. Let me make sure that I make this public so I can be able to get y'all comments on here. 1 second. I'll just do this before I get started. All right, welcome to week 16. I hope everybody had a good holiday season. Welcome to week 16 of All in H preview of the Kansas City Falcon game. Let's be clear. I have no desire for this game. I have no desire to even watch the game. I'm watching as a fan. This is going to be a long day. I have no expectations of us winning this football game because today the Chiefs will win. We'll clinch the number one seed in the AFC. We are basically in the position of playing spoiler. Right now, the Falcons are four not four four no, 4-10 on the year, and Kansas City's 13-1. They win today. They got the number one seed. They can chill out next week and get ready for the playoffs. But overall, this is going to be a very tough challenge today. This was the one game on the schedule I was not looking forward to, especially knowing what this team has looked like this season. I was not looking forward to this game. But we do have a couple of key injuries. Of course, everybody knows Julio's been out for weeks, basically. But the Falcons do have Alex Mack is out for today's game as well, which is a very, very big injury for an offensive line that's already not good. Not having your key guy in that middle, not good for this team. You need Alex Mack to even hold up for Matt Ryan in this football game. I don't really know what to expect today. Also, I'm looking forward to see what can they do today. I know another key injury is going to be on the Chiefs side. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he's out for today's football game, but of course they got Le'Veon Bell. So I don't really think it matters either way what happens with that. Teacher said, "Good morning, good morning, sis." Ray boy, Ray said, "I hope y'all pull out a win today, man. Who knows? Who knows? This team is so weird. They could find a way to win this game. I don't see it. This is gonna be a long day. I don't see it happening. The only saving grace the Falcons somewhat have in this football game is the fact that the last 6 weeks the Chiefs have played very close football games. Yes, it's been against better teams like the Dolphins, like the Saints. They've had to play a lot of. They've blown. Make no mistake about it. Their score does not predict what they have done this last couple of weeks this season. They actually that Saints game was not as close as the 3-point final score was. The Dolphin game, the Dolphins had to rally at the end. They had that game kind of won handily. So I'm intrigued to see can the Falcons stay in the football game today? Because at the end of the day, this is a team that is trying to clinch number one seed. They're trying to get ready to pursue another trip to the Super Bowl. So I'm looking forward to see. I'm looking forward to see how today's game plays out for us. Let's see. Deborah said, "Good morning, my coworker. You are a true fan." Yes, I am. They get on my nerves, but I definitely still rock with these guys. I'm ready for the season to be over with, to be honest. Ray said Hill's gonna be averaging 200 yards today. It would shock me because this is gonna be a handful for AJ Terrell. I don't know how AJ Terrell is gonna deal with today's game, going up against Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is gonna play today. He had a hamstring injury, so that's going to be something to watch out for. I don't know how much that's going to play a factor into today's game for him. But of course, the Chiefs still got Sammy Watkins, still got Travis Kelce, who I think is going to have a big game today. Sammy Watkins can have a big game today. Jordan, former Bulldog, Cole Hartman, that's another guy who can get going in this game. But for me, if the Falcons are going to win this game, they're going to have to score. They're going to have to score touchdowns, not kick field goals. You cannot rely on Young Hoku kicking field goals in this football game if you think you're going to keep up with that high-powered Chiefs offense. Of course, you're going to have to get Calvin Ridley going today. That's going to be an intriguing thing to see what can the Falcons do in that department. Also, I'm going to be intrigued to see what Ito Smith looks like. He's starting over Todd Gurley at this point. The Falcons demoted him to the number 2 running back on the team. So, I don't know. This is just ready to get this game over with. This is going to be a hard one for the Falcons because you're in Kansas City. They can lock the 1 seed today. At this point, you're helping. At this point, they're trying to get that 1 seed so they can chill out, get a week off, and get ready for whoever comes into Kansas City. They're going to be a hard out. I don't know who. I think they're going to repeat. That's my personal opinion. I don't see a team in the NFL right now that's playing better than the Kansas City Chiefs, even with them playing close games. That's the reason, but you've been playing better teams. Daphne said, hey, buddy, how you doing? But my personal opinion, I think the Chiefs win 48-21 today. I think the Falcons will go a couple of touchdowns, but I just don't see how this team slows down that high-powered Kansas City offense. That offense is lethal. That's one of the best offenses in the league. They actually, I have the stats pulled up, Bobby. That's what you see me looking at. That's our stats, excuse me. The Chiefs have the number one passing offense in the league. So you got a lot on your hand. You got a lot you're dealing with today. You got your number one offense. This is the number one offense in the league. Pat Mahomes is in the MVP race. So I don't know what we're going to expect today at this team. But I do know that they would love to go ahead and win today's game, get this thing over with, and move on to the postseason. Because the only thing, I know a lot of folks were like, hey, we could play spoiler today. If we do, cool. If we don't, it's not really going to be honest, it's not going to hurt them either way, whether they was to win this game or lose this game, because they're still in position to be the number one seed. But moving forward, the Chiefs, if the Falcons are going to attack the Chiefs in any sort of way, it would have to be get that passing attack going, which has been very difficult. They actually, let me take that back. They actually did get the passing game going last week against the Buccaneers, but this is a better team than that Tampa Bay team that you're dealing with today. So I don't know. I said, my dog, I see what's going on, man. But yeah, the Chiefs, like I mentioned, the Chiefs are in position to clinch the number one seed in the AFC today with a win. That's all they need to do is win. Ray says, sorry, bro, the Falcons getting the goose that day. Man, like I said, I'm just trying to get the season over with. I don't have them really doing much today. Of course, I don't have us winning today. This is going to be a hard matchup. But the Falcons I hope we get a chance to at least be somewhat impressive today, because the guy who I would prefer to be our next head coach is coaching the Chiefs. There's an offensive coordinator in Eric Bieniemy. I would love him to be our new head coach after the season. But also, I kind of want to touch on a couple other things while I'm talking about the game today. Today's actually a pretty big day in the NFL. We got Rams and Seahawks later on today. The winner of that game, I think the Rams will clinch the division with a win. I know the Seahawks would definitely clinch the division with the win. So today's a fun day. A couple good games today. We got the Titans and the Packers tonight. That's a good game. You get a chance to see that high-powered Packer offense and the high-powered Derrick Henry, that Tennessee offense, who's actually been very impressive this year. I'm looking forward to that tonight. So today's a pretty big day for the NFL. As I was mentioning, a couple of big playoff big things can happen today. The Steelers can clinch the AFC North with a win. The Titans can clinch a playoff berth today with a win. Seattle clinches the division with a win. That's what it was. If the Seahawks win today, they win the division. If the Rams win today, they get in the playoffs, because Seattle's already in. So it's all about who's going to get the home game at this point. So I'm looking forward to seeing how things play in motion the last 2 weeks of the NFL season for the rest of the league. In regards to the Falcons are currently the number 4 pick overall in the draft. To be honest, I do not want to win the next 2 games, because for the new GM and the new head coach, I actually want them to have a good pick in position to start building towards your future. Start figuring out what you're going to do, because at this point, we are possibly in a transition stage for this team. We could be getting ready to lose Matt Ryan and Julio Jones, or one or the other, or both at some point. So I don't want this season or the satisfaction of winning a football game for the next 2 weeks to take away from what you're trying to do for your future. Because the reality is, after this season, there's going to be a lot of changes. We don't know who's going to be here after the year. But just to kind of touch, I was going to come on here early this week and I didn't get around to it. The Christmas holiday has everybody busy. Just to kind of touch a little bit on the prospects that they are saying that we're viewing in the draft. I know everybody's been talking about a quarterback. I have been looking at a couple mock drafts. There's a mock draft from Pro Football Network that has the Falcons taking Michael Parsons, the linebacker out of Penn State. That's actually been my number one prospect for the Falcons since last offseason. To me, I feel like you got to get more pieces on your defense going forward. I think the defense has some potential, but you need to get some big time playmakers, a big time pass rusher in there. You need guys that's gonna make plays. And to me, you want to start having playmakers around the field. You got a couple of playmakers, but you need depth on that team. We have never really had a loaded defense, in my personal opinion. We've always had a star here and a solid player here, but then a lot of guys who can be replaced. So that's something that they need to be looking forward to this offseason is trying to get you gotta have get a playmaker going forward for the future for this team. Because as currently constructed, I know we have the sad part about it is we are 4-10, but we have played a lot of close football games. And a lot of times this is the true reality of this team right now. Hold on, give me a second. I want to see what Ray said. Falcons just need to draft defensive guys for real, for real. No offense. The Falcons do have enough on offense. I do agree that the Falcons have enough on offense to win football games, but I can tell you this right here. I think the biggest thing to add to your point is the Falcons gotta get some players on that defense, in particular pass rush, because you've had what 5 games this season where the Falcons jumped out on the team. The Falcons have been competitive in most football games this year. We've just blown the lead. We've had a lot of games where the defense just let us down to the end. The offense can't get going, but at the same time, this has always been an issue that goes deeper than just this season. The Falcons even had that in the winning season, where we would go ahead and get the lead, get out on the team. The defense starting to get tired. The passing attack is not going anymore. So now you're finding yourself in a 1-point game and Matt Ryan's having to drive for the win. The reason why we've been losing games this year is because, unfortunately, as much as I love Matt Ryan can't do that anymore. He's at the stage of his career where he needs a rushing attack. And that is mighty funny. I was just saying that because Otto just said that we need a running back. We definitely do. We haven't had a running back in a couple of years. And if people think that not having a running back doesn't play a factor in a team being successful, look at New Orleans. Drew Brees is definitely not the same quarterback. To me, Drew Brees is definitely a former shell of himself. But when you have a running back in Alvin Kamara, when you have a running back in Latavius Murray who does enough, that's the thing. You don't need a star. You need guys that's going to make plays. And the problem is with Atlanta, Todd Gurley is still running scared because he is afraid to be hurt. Let's just call it for what it is. Ito Smith doesn't get snaps. Brian Hill should have never been back on the roster to begin with. I have a personal issue with Brian Hill. I've never liked him. But we don't have a rushing attack. And on top of the fact, Dirk Cutter's rushing offense is probably the worst I've seen. Antonio said, "What's going on, my dog? Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing?" By the way, this guy right here, if you have not got a chance to subscribe to this channel, he has a channel. He does post games. He does a lot of Falcon stuff, Madden, different things like that. His YouTube name is Terror Artist 404. Make sure that you subscribe to him. But let's see. Ray said, "Who are the Eagles playing today?" They're playing the Cowboys at 4:25. The Eagles play later on today at 4:25. That's going to be a fun game to see. I would like to see what Jalen Hurts has actually been impressive for the Eagles, even in the loss last week against the Cardinals. He's been pretty impressive for the Eagles so far. Tony said, "Do we draft a running back? If so, when?" We definitely need to get a running back in this draft. I would say it needs to be at least a second or third rounder. That has to be something we look forward to. It doesn't need to be a first round pick. It needs to be a high draft pick, though. Definitely second or third round. We need to be looking towards any running back in that range. I know a lot of Alabama fans would love to see us bring in Najee Harris to be our running back, but we do need to be looking at adding to the rushing attack, even if buddy from Clemson, I'm trying to think of his name right now. Travis Etienne, the running back from Clemson, that would be another good guy to go get in the second round, because the reality is we do need a running back. We need a running back bad. Let's see. So he says, so you think he's going to pull off a win? Absolutely. That Cowboy team is a former shell of themselves. I'm surprised they even won 5 games at this point. So yeah, I definitely think the Eagles can win today. Antonio said Najee could be gone by then. I think so as well. I thought it was a couple of running backs that I wouldn't be against going after. He's one of them, but I would like to go after Etienne from Clemson. That's one of the guys. Chuba Hubbard from Oklahoma State's another guy who I wouldn't mind being in red and black. It's a couple of decent running backs coming out. And then one thing about running backs, you can find them a dime a dozen. So it's not even real. Sometimes you can actually find you a steal in the fourth or fifth round. It's just all about what scheme. The biggest thing is the Falcons need to figure out what their scheme is going to be going into 2021. You don't want to come into this season and not really have a good rushing attack. You need to know. Basically, we need to know what's the new offensive coordinator or new head coach is going to be looking into. Whether we have an offensive minded coach, whether we have a defensive coach, we need to know what type of running back that we want to get. Because to me, even with Tevin Coleman and Devontae Freeman, you had two solid running backs, but you didn't have a guy who we didn't have a guy even during that Super Bowl run where hey, I can pound the ball and he gonna get stronger every snap, every snap, every snap. So we need a guy that can do that. But also moving forward, let me see. I wanted to pull up multiple mock drafts so I can just kind of give you an idea of who certain guys are thinking can fall to Atlanta. If you got any questions, run them by me. I would love to answer any question you got for me. Let's see. Bear with me. I'm gonna try. Let's see what's the draft picks going to look like for 2021. Right now, the Falcons have the 5th overall pick. They are currently in a tiebreaker. They will lose the tiebreaker to the Panthers at the current moment. So let me see the matter of fact. That's a great. I'm glad you mentioned that question because that's a great analysis right there of what draft picks the Falcons do have for 2021. I'm glad you asked me that because that's something I need to save because with this offseason I will be talking more about the give me a second. What is this? So currently the Falcons do have every one of their picks for this draft. They do have every pick from round 1 to 7. So they have 7 picks going forward right now for this draft. Jonathan Parks going on, bro. He said you should have taken Tevin Coleman, bro, and kept him. I totally agree. I feel like Tevin Coleman was the better of the two between him and Devontae Freeman. I feel like the Falcons' biggest mistake was they paid Devontae Freeman too soon. I get it. Yeah, went to the Pro Bowl 2 years in a row, but Devontae Freeman was, in my personal opinion, he was good for a couple of years, but then once he got on the start, he just really couldn't. I think Shanahan brought the best out of him, to be honest. But let's see. Tonio said Coleman only good in Kyle scheme when the work with Doug. Actually, Coleman was good in Sark scheme too. I just think that really Dirk Cutter is a running back killer. Nobody should want to work with Dirk Cutter if you're a running back because history shows that man he's never put together actually a good rushing attack. So I think that is a fair assessment. I think Tevin Coleman really should have stayed on the team, but I think that truth be told, he was the better of the two running backs. That's the sad part about it when you look back at this team because we really should have kept a running back. To me, Devontae Freeman, I mean, look what he's doing in New York. He's doing absolutely nothing. Tonio said he forgot all about his college offense coordinator. The problem, and let me go on record to say this right here, man. Sark was not an awful offensive coordinator. The problem was Sark came in from college trying to run a college scheme year one. That first year was a disaster with him because we were running certain college plays. I'm pretty sure all Falcon fans on here can remember that dumb play call in the postseason game against the Eagles where we're sitting there at the one out here rolling out to the fullback. Certain plays, even in New England, we lost at New England game. The year we had a very solid defense. The first year was a very bad struggle, and I also think he came into the wrong situation because we were just coming off going to the Super Bowl. So you're taking over one of the high-powered offenses in the league, and you can't really sustain the success that you had. Let's see. Ray said, will you be covering all sports on your podcast? Absolutely. I will be talking. I'm talking Falcons now, but I'm going to be on here, especially after the season ends, I will be talking about the other teams. I'll get a chance to talk about the NFL teams remaining. I'll get a chance to talk about the college teams remaining. I know everyone's looking forward to see what how the college season finishes out. Getting the Ohio State Clemson rematch and getting Alabama and Notre Dame. Oh my God. Let me say this, man. I'm sick of Notre Dame. Sick of Notre Dame. I don't know why the media is in love with them. Notre Dame's gonna get washed by Alabama on New Year's Eve. They're gonna end 2020 on a very bad note. They're gonna lose by 30. But back to my football talk. I mean NFL talk. I will be talking to all sports, so I may even tap into basketball. I'm gonna get some people on here to talk basketball with me, and you guys know I'm sure you've been following what I've been doing. I'm gonna get a chance to talk about tennis this year too. You know, I got to talk about it. I'm a big Serena fan, but yeah, overall, I don't know what to expect today. I'm not really looking forward to this football game. I'm gonna be watching as a fan, but again, I will be back on here later. We're gonna get a chance to talk more about it, and we get a chance to talk more about some of the other games going on today too. But y'all have a good one. Go Falcons, I guess. But talk to you guys later.